Hello, welcome to my first ranking video. I may do one of these for Thorpe Park because I won't be riding Hyperia anytime soon, and I haven't ridden all the rides at Blackpool or Wallaby Belgium, so it's best that I rank all the rides at my favourite theme park, Alton Towers first.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, there is nothing wrong with this ride, it's just not for my target audience. This ride does have some decent theming though. This ride has the same problem for me as Octonauts. It's not for my target audience. But this coaster is miles better than Octonauts for 3 reasons. 1, it pulls better forces. 2, it's longer. And 3, the operator. It is too short and the surprise element loses its surprise factor after only a couple rides. Now this is your official spoiler warning. It's best to go into this ride not knowing what's going to happen, otherwise it's not going to be very good. So skip to this time if needed. Okay, so the drop track is great the first time. So if you're watching this, then either you've done it or you don't care and you ruin it for yourselves. This is because it's really the surprise factor that makes it good. I think the ride could really benefit from a back spike or more length. Because the length is really my main gripe with this ride. Controversial opinion alert. But seriously, I think the Spin Wizard is just a load of fun. I don't care that it barely has any theming. It's just fun. The spinning aspect also adds to the ride experience, making each different to the last. I just love this ride for everything it has to offer, and the fact that it's longer than 13. But I can't put it higher than. So, like 13, Oblivion is also a really short ride. But this ride feels okay being short. It's a bit like Stealth at Thorpe Park. It's, by nature, a short ride. But 13 just felt too short, rather than just short, because its surprise element isn't good enough to carry the entire ride. Oblivion's main element is. The drop into the tunnel is amazing, giving some really good flow to airtime in the back and some really awesome visuals in the front. Personally, I prefer the front row to the back, but I do think the entire ride experience will be made much better with flawless trains. Still, the current trains are fine enough. Even though I've said all this, the coaster is still too short to be above number 5. The first B&M Flying Coaster also suffers from a length issue, but not to the same extent. I think it's because the ride has more variety than others in the park, and it's less well paced. I love the Light to Fly section, and it even has some airtime sprinkled in there. My main knock on this ride though is its theming and its overall presentation. This ride just looks so tired, and it's dirty even after a jet wash. Although, that's the same with the Smiler. The station is a box, and the tunnel, don't even get me started on that. I don't think a refurb or a retheme is enough to put this ride any spots higher, but it would improve the ride experience exponentially. As I said in my review, link in top right, this ride is incredibly underrated. It's got some amazing airtime, whip, and positive Gs. It is short, but longer than Oblivion, and feels more complete than 13. The launch is absolutely insane, and the second turn tries to rip your head off. Also, since I made my review on this ride, I got a hell ride on it, and it literally tried to murder me. Wow, how this ride has fallen from grace. It went from being my favourite ride in the park to 3rd. Reason? It's the roughness. Now, this ride isn't necessarily rough, but it's very shaky. It also jolts on a couple of occasions, specifically that Cobra roll. I recommend riding this coaster in the morning for the smoothest experience. It's also the same with Saw the Ride. Nevertheless, the coaster has a really creepy theme. It's not as well themed as some of the other rides in the park. I would also like to note my favourite elements on the ride are the second airtime hill, the first inversion, and the Batwing. This is probably my favourite wooden coaster, although there's not much competition. It's just the full package, and it has, of course, a creepy theme. The layout is no slouch either. Once this coaster is warmed up, it is crazily well paced, and it's pretty smooth as well. Smoother than the Smiler. I think one of my favourite rides on a coaster period was on this coaster during Scarefest towards the back row. The layout all in all isn't elite, but combined with the theming and just the overall package, this ride is amazing. The same can be said for my number one coaster at Alton Towers. This is probably one of the best themed rides in the world. The station inside and out is amazing with some awesome special effects, including the mist effects on the zero-G roll and elsewhere on the ride. The helicopters, both of them, look really cool, and of course, the giant animatronic Nemesis eye. The ride experience is just mwah. There are tons of positive G's, whip, and even some hang time on the loop. It does rattle on the final turn, but aside from that, this ride is perfectly smooth. Both corkscrews have insane whip to them. The loop is forceful on the way in and on the way out, and has some hang time at the top. The helix makes my legs tingle, and the zero-G roll has some really good snap to it. So, that is how I rank the coasters of Alton Towers. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Be sure to comment down below what your list is. Goodbye.